Bong Sau is a very, very important movement in Wing Chun. It's one of the 3 seed techniques along with Tan Sau and Fuuk Sau, and it's also one of the most misunderstood movements in Wing Chun. Now, of course, according to whatever lineage or whatever style of Wing Chun you practice, everybody teaches and preaches different use for the Bong Sau, okay? The version I'm going to teach you obviously comes from the system of Wing Chun that we teach here at our school, and I'm going to explain a little bit how and why we use it and also how we don't use it, which may be a little bit different from some of the other styles. First of all, you have to understand Bong Sau is not a fixed position. Bong Sau is not something you do to block a punch. It's not something you do to stop. Bong Sau is actually just a reaction, okay? That's why they say in Chinese, they say Bong Sau Fei Sau, which means Bong Sau is not really a hand technique. It's actually just a reaction. And all the mottos that support how we use Bong Sau are based on reaction. They're not based on blocking. So we have a saying in Wing Chun, when you press the head, the tail rises, okay? And this actually teaches you how Bong Sau is formed, okay? If I send my hands forward in the middle of a fight and I run into my opponent's arm, and let's say he's got a very tight low elbow structure here and I'm not able to go through, when he continues towards me, he's in essence pressing the head of my arm, which is the front part, and the reaction for me to do is to turn up the end and to do what we call Bong Sau. Now, this is totally based on the pressure that I get from him. It's not that he comes with a punch and I use Bong Sau to block as you see in a lot of other styles, okay? This would be totally unnecessary. If he fires a punch towards my head, I can just go in and hit him. There's no need for me to Bong Sau and block and do a big complicated defense. I'm only going to do Bong Sau if he actually presses down the arm and forces me to turn. So it's very passive. It's based on his force. And that's what we mean by it's not a hand technique. It's not something you choose to do. It's something your opponent actually forces you to do. This is the main idea behind Bong Sau. And it's very important that you train it correctly. When you start learning single arm Chi Sau, when your partner gives you a punch, he needs to give you a low elbow punch so that it bends your arm like this. If he were to give me a punch to the face, all right, my reaction would actually be to go in and do an indoor punch, because a Bong Sau is completely unsuitable for defending a face punch, okay? This actually just ends up being a ramp to your face. If the punch is coming this high, it's much more suitable to go in and use a wedge like this. The Bong Sau is only done literally when he presses the arm like this here. Okay, so my arm is very elastic as opposed to being rigid, and it'll only be in this form for a second. When he comes in and punches me, I don't hold and pose this Bong Sau for everybody to see. It would actually just be part of a quicker and more complex reaction as opposed to it being something that I pose and stop. All right, and this is Bong Sau.